It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great, like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes. So let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
And my name is Mike.
And this week, we have trailers for The Mandalorian and Grogu. We also have Avatar, Fire and Ash, but I took it out because I wanted to talk about something else. We've got the Wolverine game that we've been promising for like what feels like forever on the show. Marvel Zombies lands on Disney Plus, and we're going to talk about that. Full review at the end of the show and more.
Also, we are talking about the Avatar Fire and Ash trailer in the show.
Yes.
But Chris, you, in an effort to streamline the opening, you took Fire and Ash out, but also you mentioned it anyway. So you didn't streamline the opening at all.
So here's the thing. Because I am essentially the technical person of the show. I only have so many characters I can put in the title of YouTube, and I have to make decisions. What's going to be best on our YouTube title? And Avatar Fire and Ash being the second trailer is probably less relevant than Mandalorian and Wolverine and Marvel Zombies. So I can still say it out loud. It's just not going to be in the title. So that's a little insight to this. Someone asked me the other day, they were like, how do you guys do the show? Because everyone wants to start a podcast, and I get it. And they're like, how do you guys do it being in different places? I'm like, well, we've been doing it the same way for 10 and a half years, where we both count down 3, 2, 1, and then click record. And then we both say, okay, rolling. Even though we don't have to do that anymore, all our audio syncs up automatically after the fact. But it's still fun to do it because we've been doing it the same way for so long.
Oh my gosh. I wish I could tell everybody that records a podcast to just, if you're having a guest on the show, or even if you're recording remotely, just have somebody locally record their audio. I don't care what piece of software is saying it's recording itself internally, but it doesn't sound good. Like there's still people hopping on Skype and then just using the Skype recording as like their podcast, and it sounds like doo-doo. Like if I've seen professional level podcasts, like top 100 on people the iTunes,
who get paid thousands of dollars, use the lowest quality audio in the world.
It's just like a Blue Yeti microphone. Like those are like super cheap, like $40 now. Just go on Amazon, click buy, and just ship it to whoever your guest is, and it's super easy. Just plug it in, like it's plug in and like go. I don't understand why people can't get at least halfway decent audio. Like I'm not saying we are like studio level quality here.
We are. We are studio level. Don't sell ourselves. We both have microphones that we had the same microphone actually. The blue. Yeah, is it Yeti Digital, whatever, Yeti X, whatever these are pretty high quality. I never am concerned about our audio quality because of, our propensity, and your like, when you found them on sale, that was great. So like, absolutely, we are studio level quality. Don't you sell ourselves short, Mike, but continue.
But what I'm saying is if these two schlubs that you listen to every week can do it, your top 100 podcast can please do it. Yeah. Now, if your guest is like some like wartime journalist, like reporting like from the middle of like a war zone, and they're like on speakerphone, like that, I get it, like, or if
Context.
It's like an A-list celebrity and just like you're even happy to have their presence, like I get it. But there's some people, it's just like, you had this plan a couple weeks in advance, that you could do better.
Yeah, well, if not months in advance, like, right? But like, one of the things we don't use, but I will tell anyone who wants to start a show, Discord is, we talk through Discord every week. We used to use Skype because we didn't know any better, and Discord has come around. But Discord has a bot that they've built called Craig. And Craig can record your audio on whoever's in there. So if 2 people, there's 2 separate tracks. 5 people, there's 5 separate tracks. But you can also download it where they're mixed together. And all you gotta do is type in the chat where you're on the audio box. Hey, Craig, record now, I think, or whatever the command is, and you get a very good quality recording. So even if you're not even if you are on something, try to use Discord. Like Discord is a powerful free tool that we use every week. And I've started actually using it almost every day or every other day playing video games, because you can talk across any platform. It's on Xbox, it's on PlayStation, it's on PC, and you don't have to rely on like whatever last minute audio software they patch into a game so you could talk to your friends. So
well, thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, this reminds me, this is blowing my mind.
Let's
I saw
do it.
somebody screenshot their podcast app. I don't know what app it was, but I think it was kind of like a third-party one that had more features on it. And they showed their podcast settings of how they listen to podcasts. And this person listens to every podcast at 1.4x, which I think is kind of an interesting strategy of like, well, they're not trying to like super fast forward, but they want the conversation to be a little bit more brisk. And I've heard of people doing that before, but the thing that blew my mind, and you might already know if this exists, you're the type of person that usually has this information, but I didn't know this. Their podcast app has a feature where it cuts out gaps,
The pauses,
like air
yeah.
gap. I think, yeah. So like you can listen to a podcast even faster. It's kind of like a post-editing process for like even like high-end podcasts. They have editors that go in and do that already, but this app will just go in and do it even more. And I'm sure it's probably just looking at the waveform and just looking for those lulls and just like chopping them out. But like if you could listen to Superhero Slate, if you're listening at 1.4x and then cutting out even like just the little gaps in between us talking, you could probably finish this show in like 40 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit.
But the other crazy thing is too, it counts up all of the time that this person has saved listening to podcasts that way. And it was just like, oh, you've saved like something like 400 hours of your life listening to podcasts this way. And I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, I think
I kind of want to do that.
It might be Overcast. I think it's Overcast with the in-app purchase of that, because I think they call it Smart Speed is what it is. I keep a couple podcast apps on my phone, even though I only use Apple because I want to see, it's just native built in. It looks good, but like I do keep them because I want to make sure our shows looks good and sounds good in other places as well. So yeah, you can so I think Overcast is the one you saw the screenshot of, but it is paid. But like, yeah, we are in a world of AI, like we always talk about. Like I imagine some of that stuff will be great. I know Apple is already transcribing our show if you use the Apple podcast, so you can actually read or search through the words if you're looking for something in particular we said, which is great to go back and see how stupid we were years ago on older shows. But yeah, I think I think that 1.4 sounds normal from what I've heard a lot of people do. But I like the natural conversation in the shows I listen to. I don't speed them up. I like the commute I have with a regular conversation speed. But I'm also the kind of person, and you might be different. When I work, I listen to music. I don't listen to shows. I can't listen to someone talk. Like I don't process it while I'm working for some reason, but I can do music.
It depends what my vibe is. Sometimes I need the energy of like music to get me like flowing through. Sometimes I just like a little conversation. I feel like every once in a while there's some sort of online personality that you follow through social media, and all of a sudden maybe they're the guests on a podcast that you've like never listened to. This happened to me the other day. I was listening to a podcast. I don't even know what the name of it. I don't know who this dude is, but he was interviewing Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I kind of would like to hear their insight. I know they have their own podcast, but I don't have time to go and listen to hundreds of episodes. I just kind of want to hear them being interviewed and get their insight of how they run their business. So it's like, I don't know who this dude is or whatever, but I was excited to listen because I was like, oh yeah, I watch these guys every day on YouTube, but it'd be kind of nice to hear their insights of how they run their business.
And that's fun. Like, I do, the shows I listen to, if they're a guest on another show, I'll listen to it because I'm like, oh, this is them in a different environment. I'm not getting the same thing I normally get. It's like, it's like my favorite flavor peach. I'm like a peach cobbler versus peach something else. It's the same flavor, but different places. I'll try them all out because I want to be part of that. But
we got some like little apple pies down in the kitchen right now.
Oh, yeah.
We got some vanilla ice cream in the freezer. I'm eating that as soon as we're done recording. So everybody know that when we sign off, Mike's gonna go eat. Ice cream.
Ice cream. Damn, that sounds. It's a pretty good day for ice cream. I say we're. It's technically. This is going to lead to our episode. It's fall, y'all, as Mike put on the thumbnail.
Oh, yes, I forgot. Thank you for the transition.
Yes, you're welcome. And with that, we're going to an orchard on Wednesday. It's my wife's fall break for school, so we're going to go. I took off work to an orchard, but with fall comes the spooky season, if you will.
Ooh,
and
yes.
You might want to swap these two topics around because one of them's spooky than the other. But I guess it leads into our first topic. I like the way it is. Never mind. Leave it. Mike, we've been watching the show. I'm not caught up, and Mike's going to be very, very patient with me on this one because I normally watch this on Friday, which is a work from home for my office, which is awesome. However, the past 3 weeks I've had to travel for work on Friday, so I've not got to catch up. But Alien Earth has been on FX on Hulu. And it is wrapped up its first season from Noah Hawley, again, Legion, Fargo, other things, and you've caught them all, but I'm still behind. So Mike, we can talk about Chris but I'm going to be a little behind.
It's going to be up to you, Chris, to remind us next weekend when we record that you have finished, and then we can talk about it in more detail. Because since I've wrapped up all 8 episodes, I feel like my mind is going to flutter on to the next thing, and I'm going to forget the show existed. Not because I didn't like it. I did like it. But my mind, the English Teacher. Have you seen The English Teacher? It's hilarious. It's also on Hulu. So I'm already on to the next show. I watched the last episode of Alien Earth, and I was like, this show just rocks.
You can't tease me. Like right now I got Great British Bake Off and Taskmaster on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm locked in scheduled television right now because my wife wants to watch those shows. But Alien Earth has been fun. I would say we are not Alien fanatics. We are not precious with the franchise, but we have enjoyed the series as it's ebbed and flowed, if you will.
Yeah, like the Alien and Predator universe, I came to late in my adulthood and fell in love with it. So I'm just kind of down for really whatever. I think the Xenomorph is just such a unique, clever design. It's like an intimidating creature. Like, I don't care if it's in like the worst scripted movie of all time. I just want to see it go after people. And the season has just been so much fun. I don't even remember if we talked about it on the show after it happened, but we were talking about the show a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, oh no, they're never going to show us what happened on that ship. And you're like, oh no, they're definitely going to. And they did a whole episode
on
what happened on the ship before it crashed. And I loved that whole episode, even though sometimes I kind of hate it when a season of a TV show goes backwards and it's like, oh, we didn't make any progress at all this week. But it was still really cool.
Well, I would say the hardest thing for me, and I think I told you that, is that the officer in that looks like Ava Mendez, even though she we talked. I think I don't know if it was on the show or off the air, but like she looks like Ava Mendez, and like that kind of like it took me out a little bit, but it does, like, it is fun to see. Again, I had a good time with that. It's essentially Alien remade again, but with like the most incompetent crew known to man, which is even like it adds comedy to it for me a little bit because it is so tropey and homage-y. But yeah, like I've had a good time. I like seeing Earth. It's fun. We have the Xenomorph, but some of these new aliens, creatures that are in the show that we've been teased, are just as exciting and I guess creepy as the other ones.
Yeah, you get a lot more of these other aliens hijinks later on in the season. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think this would have been helpful for me going into the final episode of Noah Hawley definitely wants to make more of these. So I wasn't really sure how the last episode was going to wrap up, but it definitely feels like we have a lot more to cover, a lot more to do, which is exciting to me. I want to see more of this world wherever they go and wherever they take it. As far as I know, I don't think it's officially been renewed for season 2. I don't think that has to do really anything with like performance or critical rating. I think just the whole industry now is a lot more careful on what gets renewed and when it gets renewed. That's kind of at least the vibe I'm getting from this. I think we got to get more of this. Like, why not? Yeah. Like, you don't hire Noah Hawley to adapt this super successful franchise into a TV show and then not keep it going. So I'm hoping we don't have to wait too long. I'd love to just have a new season of Alien Earth every year for at least 5 or 6 seasons. I think that'd be amazing.
I'm not gonna say 5 or 6. I think if we can keep up this quality for 3, and then maybe pick another like part of Alien to explore for another show, is fine with me. But
like a little spin-off, that would be fun.
Like a spin-off, or like a different I don't know, maybe like the actual people in space, like the mining planets that we saw in Romulus or something like that. But go on.
That's what I would love. Sometimes TV shows do this where they kind of like, I don't want to say pad out their season, but they kind of tell a B storyline in a totally different location that they'll eventually tie together. I would love to see like a B storyline of, like you said, like one of these mining planets or the facility in Aliens 2, like before it gets overrun, right? That would be kind of cool to see it like just starting and like what's going on there, and then somehow it like coalesces together.
To me, mystery, like Alien is all over the place. There's prequels or sequels or spinoffs. There's crossovers. But for me, one thing I would like to see, and this is not something I would say normally, and it's probably wouldn't be good, but like there's a crew capturing these other aliens. I would love a just one season, like an episode per, like how do they capture these other aliens, like over time.
Or like if we've seen that Noah likes to kind of go back in time and add more context, what if in the next season we get a whole episode of like how they captured the eyeball or something
where
like
it
that?
came
that
from.
would be real. Yeah, that would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
But
or the leeches.
I won't believe. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about the leeches. That's right.
Like these creatures are deadly, and I'm like, I'm sorry, and it is like this incompetent crew somehow crashed it on Earth. But like, I'm like, I would love to know how, like, how do you find them? How do you capture them? This is an 85-year journey, but like, I digress. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they like bought one of them. Like maybe they didn't even catch it. They were at some sort of like, maybe they came across like a weird ship and it was like a cloaked creature that sold. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, there could be a lot going on here. We got a whole Predator Badlands movie coming up later this year. Maybe we'll get a little more
with a Wayland Yutani robot, a synth in it.
That's true.
We're very familiar with synths this year. Synths are all the craze in 2025.
A lot of synth activity, a lot of multiversal activity.
Yes.
I wanted to talk briefly about Peacemaker. I know we haven't really talked about this much except for the first episode, and Chris, you seem to be kind of like over it, but maybe interested in returning to it at some point.
I will probably have it done by the time it's done. In 2 weeks. But I am familiar simply because if James Gunn does nothing, he's at least on social media talking about the whole goddamn episode 2 days after it's out. So,
I like this last week's episode was fun because it kind of ties into the Superman movie a little bit. They bring a character over for a scene, and then we're getting a little bit more context on this other universe that he goes to. It still feels all very Gunn-esque, right? I still, unfortunately, feel like the parts that we didn't like in the first season are still kind of present in the second season, where like Gunn just can't get over his like Gunn-isms in a way.
Again, I tell people, like, someone needs to be like, hey, just take one step back from that and it's fine. You don't need to go that extra step sometimes.
Yeah. There's like this bit, I think it's in the second episode, and I think some people really liked it, but it just really rubbed me the wrong way, where like there's a character that has like bird blindness. And I thought it was just going to be like a one-off joke, like one time where this character couldn't identify a bird and all birds look the same to them. And I was like, okay, this is kind of like a weird joke. I guess like, oh yeah, because like face blindness is a thing. Okay, bird blindness. And I thought it was just going to be one-off. But then it's like a runner now. It's been going into a couple different episodes. I was like, this is not funny. I don't know. Maybe it's just my sense of humor. But I was like, this isn't funny to me at all. This is just kind of stupid, and it seems like a weird Gunn sense of humor type of thing. But that being said, the reason I wanted to bring it up actually had nothing to do with any of the storytelling that's going on in the show. It has to do with, I'm sure, the people and the state and the culture and the community within Georgia and Atlanta are fine people. I'd love to come visit one day. I've seen travel shows about like the food scene there. It seems like fun and everything. But Chris, I am so tired of seeing Atlanta and the outskirts of Atlanta on television. The tax credits have been so beneficial there for so long. every freaking TV show I watch now, I can identify the state of Atlanta and the production radius around that state capital so easily now. It drives me crazy. Like, we rewatched Captain America Brave New World the other day, and like, you can spot the reshoots from a mile away. Like, when Sam Wilson goes to fight Sidewinder in that weird junkyard, that is just like a neighborhood outside of Atlanta. It just drives me crazy. Not like Atlanta cannot double for anything except Atlanta. You can you can throw as much money as you want it, but if you go outside for a second and turn a camera on, I can tell that state like the back of my hand now, and I'm so tired of seeing it. It's driving me crazy. And Peacemaker, like, is it entirely shot in Atlanta, and it's so weird to me, or Georgia, sorry. And it's so weird to me because, like, you go to Argus a lot, and Argus just looks like a building where you go to get your taxes done. And it's so funny when they bring in like a character and they have to like throw them in like a holding pen or a jail or something like that. And it just looks like an office where a copier used to be. And it's driving me absolutely crazy because like it doesn't look like Washington, D.C. It doesn't look like a place where there'd be like an advanced, like, you know, like how Marvel has like S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, every time you've seen S.H.I.E.L.D., even when it's been like in an ABC television show, they at least do a really good job to make it look some sort of like next level, like CIA, FBI building or something like that. Yeah, and it's just like, this is driving me insane. I am so happy that Marvel like picked up shop and moved over to London, because I am going crazy. I don't know if anybody else out there has this problem. Maybe this is a very niche thing where I have too much media literacy and I can just identify it anywhere. And I'm sure people got driven crazy years ago when everything looked like it was filmed in Los Angeles, even if it wasn't supposed to take place there. But man, I'm so tired of seeing it. I don't know if this is maybe like the Walking Dead effect, where like I watched enough Walking Dead and now I know every single nook and cranny and foliage of the state. But that's my rant. I'm going to get off my soapbox. I just want to see things shot in different states so badly.
Well, let's take them back to the volume. I say we can at least make it look at like anywhere if they want the volume, because
yes, that's true.
No, but the only the only thing that's crossed my radar on Peacemaker is that they added Peacemaker to Fortnite recently, and they've had to pull an emote.
What is it?
After the newest episode, there's this dance he does with his arms. That happens to represent where Earth he might be on.
Yes, I saw that too, and I honestly, I think, unless this is some like 4D choreography and like they really thought about it, I would be surprised. I think this is just coincidental because the moves just seem similar to the static moves that they had in the first season.
It's not, because there is a Donald Duck anti-Nazi dance from the 40s that won an Oscar or an Academy Award. That's the same move. Like literally side by side with that. We're tiptoeing around it and we're not gonna say anything. But really, James Gunn puts everything out on fucking internet. Like, I can't avoid this stuff. Like, even by trying to avoid it, even if you block it. But if I find that side by side thing, it's enough to where Epic is like, we have to look into this because like it's too close to be, ignored, kind of thing. So I'm interested to see what comes out, because this is, we're in the last 3 episodes. This was 6 or 7, 8, and James Gunn himself is like, I haven't shown 6, 7, 8 to anybody, like only the people who worked on the episodes. And, if that is the case and that was kind of hidden, interestingly enough, I don't know, I don't think this will be like the blowback that's like, we won't, promote anything without seeing it beforehand, but it might cause a little more wariness going forward with stuff. So, oh well, interesting stuff. We'll come back. Like I said, I'll be done when it's done. So we've got 2 more weeks, and I'll be able to catch up with you by that point. But what's the DCU without connected stories? And I'm sure, we have Creature Commandos. We've got, what's his name, Rick Flag Sr. playing double duty in the animated show and Peacemaker, right? You've seen him in the show, Rick Flag Sr. Mm-hmm. Frank Grillo. From the Marvel days, doesn't look as old as he is. He's like 60 something. He looks younger every time I see him. So love that. But speaking of Creature Commandos, James Gunn has gone out and said G.I. Robot will make a live appearance at some point, but most likely probably not Peacemaker season 2 at this point. If people remember, G.I. Robot was essentially a robot who was created in World War II to essentially just kill Nazis. He had his backstory episode was probably one of my favorites of that show, because like he's just so narrow focused, and like robots are like so literal. It's kind of funny with what he does. And then he blows up, but then at the end you find out he's got like a big, bulky, like new, I guess, tank body, I guess, if you will.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think they do put him in something like that.
Yeah, and I know that's Argus, who's like kind of been playing a little bit of a bigger role in Superman and Peacemaker. So that's why he could make an appearance, I guess. Or if he likes to shoot Nazis, that might be relevant at some point in a show right now. But yeah, I mean, I would say after we're going to talk about Marvel Zombies, having David Harbour return as Red Guardian, also recently in Thunderbolts. I love his enthusiasm in these big, bulky character roles. And he obviously played Eric Frankenstein in Creature Commandos, right? I would love to see him as a live action person before G.I. Robot, but you tell me, Mike.
We love a big bulky person. If we could just get Carl Urban to voice or play like some sort of big bulky character, I guess he was kind of big and bulky in Thor, but even bigger and even bulkier. We'll love him even more.
Dread, we can get him to come back as Dread.
Bigger. We want
bigger, even bigger Dread.
This man,
even bigger Dread. Carl Urban. I'm really surprised they haven't tapped him into something DC, because he did so many B movies. In the early 2000s, like he put in the work.
He's got to wrap up The Boys first, and then he'll.
I think it's done. I think the filming's done on that. Unless he's making some cameos in Gen V, which season 2 happens to be on right now.
I forgot. I need to go watch that.
They did not do a good job promoting season 2 popping back on. I feel like
that's just Amazon Prime in general.
Well,
Carl Urban's got Johnny Cage coming up. That's right.
Yeah, he'll do that. But I think I think Prime does a good job sometimes, but not like. You remember like when the first season of Lord of the Rings came out, and then like the first season of Gen V and the Boys, it was on all the boxes. Like they taped every Amazon box.
Yeah,
with stuff.
You're right.
So like I'm like, once it gets to season 2, they're like, yeah, whatever, we don't care anymore. What's our next new thing? Invincible. They do Invincible promotions pretty heavy when that show's around. But anyway, Creature Commandos, G.I. Robot, I think it was he voiced by his brother?
I think it wasn't it Alan Tudyk?
No. Dr. Phosphorus was Alan Tudyk. I think G.I. Robot is Sean Gunn.
Oh, maybe it is his brother. I mean, honestly, wouldn't be surprised.
Right. Yeah. It was Sean Gunn. So I think, being a character that would have to be CGI'd, he's very apt to come and play that in real life. And I'm just trying to think, what movies would he be in? I don't know. Nothing next year. Maybe if they do Sergeant Rock, he might be talking about Sergeant Rock, that World War II movie that nobody will probably care about. But anyway, moving on we're going to go into Marvel land for a little bit there. Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie, the season 5, I guess, of the show, right? Because it went through 4 seasons. Am I counting that right? Or is it season 4?
I thought it was 3 seasons.
I don't remember. That's how long it's been. We've had a long time with The Mandalorian. But they have given us our first official trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming out May 22nd of 2026, so next year. This is our first, I guess, this is the end of an era for our Star Wars Disney Plus shows. So I don't think they're going to make any more Mandalorian series after this show's out. He may make cameos, but I think he's done with his own show.
Well, when I was watching this trailer, I was also going like, oh yeah, is this wrapping it up? But isn't Filoni doing like a Rebels like live action movie after this?
They've not, it's in the works. That's like one that's like maybe in the gray area. After we see his Ahsoka season 2, we might get like an actual culmination of everything. But
yeah, because that's kind of what I thought.
But like, that's not gonna date. It's not gonna green. Like, I don't think that's greenlit yet until his show comes out.
Yeah.
But
you were mentioning how long it had been since we'd watched anything with Mando, and you're totally right, because the biggest pull from this trailer to me was just hearing the music again. I forgot how much I loved the score from The Mandalorian, because I was scorned by the last season. You see what I did there?
No,
but I
but
mean,
I heard.
everybody loves Pedro. Everybody loves Baby Yoda. So that's gonna get people's butts and seats to see this movie. I've seen a lot of angles from people saying like, "Oh, this trailer doesn't feel very cinematic to me," but I think they have an uphill battle to fight just in general, because how often has like a streaming show or just a television series in general get promoted to the big screen, like actual big screen, not like, oh, we've made like a longer episode and it's technically a movie. Like,
and
this
it's a
direction doesn't happen. It's like this direction doesn't happen very often, so I think our brains don't really have like anything to compare it to. Like, it's almost like a sin of like the Mandalorian and Grogu, the Mando, the TV show, has always looked very cinematic. So it's just kind of like, oh, if somebody says, oh, this just looks like a longer episode, it's like, it's almost like a compliment for the TV show in a way. But if I have to look at the stuff in it, like, everything looks fun. Like, everything looks exciting. I loved like the big bulky droids that seem to be like in a cave guarding a door or something.
They've got that.
I'm just curious.
We get to see the Rebels character Zeb Aurelios in a hallway fighting some other. I assume it's all droids. No, stormtroopers. There's stormtroopers there as well. So,
I think I'm just more excited to see something of consequence happen. That first season of Mando and Grogu was very just kind of episodic. It was like adventure of the week. Just watch these two characters grow and become closer together. Then they started trying to tell some longer narratives, but it was just kind of just a thread that's just taken through longer. Like, if this is going to a big movie, I want to see something big of consequence happen. Like, we gotta get some backstory to Grogu. Like, if they've been kind of leaning into like this sciencey cloney stuff of like they're trying to take something out of Grogu to do something with it, like, give me those answers finally. Make it a reason to have this big cinematic experience.
I think maybe a little bit, but at the same time, I think it needs to stand on its own and it needs to be done. Like, when it's done, I don't want it to be like, hey, there's more coming. Like, we need, like, Star Wars tends to be like, oh, we'll just wait for the next one. I don't want that. Like, I need it to be one and done kind of thing, like Rogue One a little bit, if you will. We know the characters, we've seen it. I like to see a little bit more money behind this. It feels like they're putting some funds behind this. Like, we're seeing a lot more of Grogu in the show, the trailer, than I think we would normally see in an episode. I guarantee you Pedro Pascal was maybe on set one day. I don't think he'll take his helmet off. I do not think he'll take his helmet off this whole movie. But he'll take it off for sure. From maybe that's how he ends it. I don't know, but like, I agree with you. I'd love to see where do these characters end? Where do we send them off to, and how do they have their ending? Whether it's good or bad, it'll probably be a happy ending. You're not going to do anything bad with a small child character along the way. But I am excited for this, but I'm not like. May feel so far away. Like, I'm not gonna start hyping myself up yet. So, but it is fun. I think this will be the last of this. We won't get another Mandalorian season after this. I think we'll be all good to go. But you can check that out. And then obviously we've been dealing with reporting on Sean Levy's Star Wars as well, which seems to be another I guess what's a non-Rey movie going forward, just a regular Star Wars journey after this. So we'll see how that goes. But normally Star Wars has, I guess the last couple movies came out around Christmas, but this Christmas, Mike, we have a special treat, and that's with Avatar, Fire and Ash. It has been how long has it been since the last one? Do you remember?
It's been too long. I want to say, was it pre or post pandemic?
2022. It'll be 3 years.
Okay.
It was post pandemic because we were at Disney when we watched it at the laser projector to see what it looked like down there at the Disney Springs. But trailer 2 for the upcoming movie release, and this one's a longer trailer. It's got a little more story to it. We get to see I forget the actor's name here. Una something. I'm gonna have to look this up. But she plays the Una Chaplin, the villainous Varanga, I believe, who is the fire person who believes essentially that their god has given up on them, right? That she doesn't believe in the Awa. But one of the, like, I cannot wait, Mike, and I've not seen it yet, when people do the the special effects, reels for this. Like we talked about the first time, where like the hand was in the water and they were like strapping on to the sea whales. Like, I want to see the effects comparison, because this movie's gotten some extra time. It was filmed alongside The Way of Water, so like, it's had even longer to perfect those effects and look good. One of the interesting parts to me, and I don't know, did you notice this, is that Spider, the boy, is literally walking around without a mask on this planet. He's a human without a mask on. So
yeah, there was a line in the trailer that it's like, oh, what if humans could be on our planet without a mask on? And I was a little confused, because the line read was like, wait, do you want that, or do you not want? Because it seems like you don't want that. I don't think you want to invite humans and make it more habitable for them. But also, they showed Spider was like connecting with one of those creatures like through his hair.
I don't know if he was connecting. I think he was just like a way to attach, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
So he must have had like either some sort of something done to his body, because he doesn't have those parts. So I don't know if Awa has like grown something off of him. I don't know. It's crazy. Like this, I love this world. It's so nuts. Like Cameron can just invent whatever he wants, because this planet's so rich. And this is like, I feel like the first time in like science fiction history where we've got to sit with a planet and actually discover it and treat it like a real planet, right? Our planet Earth, like there's human beings on it that don't know what's happening on the other side of it, and have never traveled there, never done anything. It's like, it's a unique world. Like if you turn Earth back to where like, we didn't have technology yet, the other side of the planet would be like totally crazy. Like I love that this fire tribe is going to be antagonistic. I got to imagine at some point in the story, I don't know if it's this movie or one of the next ones, the whole planet's going to come together at some point. And then the last Avatar movie, there's probably going to be some sort of crazy clash where like the humans finally arrive in huge swarms,
It was also we've read the possible leaks the other way, where it's like, in this one we see the I forget what the human the DRA or something like that, RDA, whatever the army is teaming up with this Fire Nation to take on the regular avatars. So we're gonna see some interesting team ups. But I would love to see some of these avatars get back to Earth, like the other way as well, like not just bring them here but go the other way. But James Cameron, he's got 2 more movies we're going to be talking about for the next 6 years after this. But what I remember most about the second one, Mike, it didn't feel like a chore to watch in theaters, despite it being 3 hours long. So I am excited to go back. And one of the cool things is, we get to go back and we get to watch this, and hopefully it'll be the same like experience where like it doesn't feel like a chore. It's telling a good story. We're exploring the world. We're meeting new people. It's like watching the Land Before Time, Mike. Every Land Before Time episode just moved the things forward. Every movie, Littlefoot and his pals, they discovered a new thing to do as the Earth was changing around them. But right, you said there's magic, there's mysticism, there's spirits. Sigourney Weaver's young girl character. Sigourney Weaver's in both these trailers. I just realized she's in Mandalorian and Avatar.
Yeah, that's true.
And Alien. Calm down, everybody, calm down. We don't need to worry about that. It's I don't know. I'm just excited to revisit and learn more. And they are adding. Remember the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora video game? They are adding Fire and Ash DLC to it later this year to coincide with this, rather than a new game. But do you ever remember like the Warcraft games, like the original Warcraft or Starcraft? Like,
oh yeah.
Like, could you imagine that set in Avatar? Like you have the humans and like the different Na'vi tribes you could pick.
Man, we were just talking about it last week on the podcast, where we're like, what if there was like a kind of like a tower defense farming sim for like Asgard?
Yeah.
I'm like still thinking about that. I thought about it the other day. I was like, man, that would be really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just imagine like an RTS where you have like, oh, I want to play the fire tribe, or the water tribe, or the regular Navi, and like you get to like build your resources and like try to either make friends or take over as you're like defending the from the human invasions to get your unobtainium. How will you ever get it? You can't obtain it. It's unobtainable. But anyway, that trailer's in our links. I'm excited to revisit. If anyone else is excited to revisit this, let us know. It's coming out December 19th. Our third trailer for the day, the Wolverine. Finally, PlayStation had a state of play at the Tokyo Game Show this week, and we got what I thought was actually a much longer trailer than I expected for Marvel's Wolverine coming to PlayStation from Insomniac. And goddamn, Mike, this is a brutal, bloody game already, just based on this trailer.
Yes. If I would have remembered that I watched this week, because saying these days, this would have been the thumbnail for the show this week.
Yeah.
Because this was badass and so cool. There's 2 videos out. There's like the actual trailer, and then there's like a behind. I think they called it behind the claws.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was really any additional footage in that. It was just kind of them talking about putting it together.
There is more footage in there because it's like more conversational, because they show them like kind of working on it and some of the other stuff. The voice actor and the motion capture guy, Liam McIntyre,
he looks like a pretty good, like he could, like I could see him go full live action. Like, I don't know if they would do that, but like Feige, give this dude a call. He kind of looks like Wolverine.
He's doing a great, and then like his motion cap, like it's something about the way his eyebrows hang over his eyes that makes him look like Wolverine. I don't know, it was something about his face, but like there is some extra gameplay footage in here, the suits and stuff like that. It was fun. He's on a motorcycle in this, and like I don't think did they show the motorcycle in the main trailer? So you can drive. So. You can drive a motorcycle. There's Mystique. There's Omega Red. There's Madripoor. He's cutting people up as blood. They're going full in on the blood here. Like if Marvel's Spider-Man by Insomniac is very PG. You're punching people and webbing them up. You're not killing them. There's no blood, broken bones. This is the opposite. This is quite the opposite of that game.
This is claws through skull, blood effects,
ripping people in half.
This feels like a thing where they like build like a physics engine, so like it spills correctly when you chop somebody up. But yeah, this looked awesome. We didn't really see a lot of kind of the more unique elements, I would say, that was in those leaks, like following like a scent trail, or I don't think there was really any like scaling of
climbing
building
walls,
with claws or anything like that. But it was just like action packed. It was intense. The visuals were amazing.
There's story elements. There's a Sentinel at the end, like an oversized Sentinel. Looks like you're gonna fight. He throws somebody into a pit of like molten metal as well. And I'm like, oh, this like I can see Insomniac's touch, like how they tell the stories of Spider-Man. I can see the story coming alive in here. I think that's just as important as the gameplay. But he's fast. He's brutal. He probably will be able to upgrade his abilities. This is like the perfect Wolverine game after playing again Wolverine or X-Men Origins Wolverine, the video game, which was one of the perfect Wolverines. This is like the next best thing for us, and as promised, is coming out fall 2026 on at least PlayStation 5 as well. And this like jumped right up my list for next year. Like this is now my most look forward to video game for next year, Mike. By a long shot.
Like I mentioned, I don't play video games that much anymore. Even before I had a kid, I was only playing maybe like 2 a year. So I can really easily like look forward into the future and like plan like, oh, what games are actually going to make it into my PlayStation. And it's going to be Ghosts of Yote next week.
Out. Yeah.
And it'll be out soon. I think it's October 4th is when it drops. And then a year later I'll play Wolverine, and maybe something will drop in between those two that I'll play. But yeah, that's basically what's coming for my console.
Well, Marvel's Cosmic Invasion, that 16-bit side scroller game that's coming out, that might hit your thing.
There was like a Lego game that was announced. Was it Jurassic Park Lego, or am I thinking of something else? There was some sort of Lego game that popped off in our group chat. I swear we talked about it. What was it? I don't think it was Marvel.
No,
because
no Marvel.
This seemed like.
I don't.
Was
remember.
it like Lego? I don't think it would have been DC. It's some other property that I was surprised got Lego-fied.
I'm trying to think of what it.
If it's not Jurassic Park, it should be Jurassic Park because that sounds really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, I'm going back through our group chat here, and I'm seeing just a bunch of random stuff going on.
That's how the group chat usually goes.
Yeah, Taco Bell.
Yeah, let me know, people out there. Is there anything coming out between now and this time next year on my PlayStation that I have to play?
I still am gonna say it's gonna be a Marvel's Cosmic Invasion, the side scroller beat 'em up from the people who made Turtles and the new Turtle game. But I don't see anything in there either. But it's good time for that. Check out the trailer. Both links to both things are in our show notes. So if you hit up superheroslate.com, or it should be in your podcast notes, you can click on the link and check it out. Moving through, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse has been moved up to June 18th, which is just a week earlier, but that's good news. That's the opposite of a delay, so we'll take it. It seems they feel confident in this movie hitting 2 more years from now out there. So I still think that's too late. That's too big of a time gap, Mike. I don't like it. What do you think?
I think it's Lego Batman. Sorry, I'm still.
The new Lego Batman Legacy that we talked about. Yes.
Yeah, which is because I think I was thinking it wasn't DC because I didn't see any I don't remember a Superman, but now
you play through
Batman, maybe that
you play through the Lego the Batman movies, all the Batman movies.
Yeah, all the different ones, and now I gotta know: is there a Lego DC Jurassic World? Oh, there is a Lego Jurassic World game.
Yes,
but this looks like it was. When was this made? This kind of seems more like a movie tie-in game and not we're building a whole universe around Lego in the Jurassic Park universe. Either way, maybe Lego Batman is in my future.
That's the only one I can think of. That'd be good. That seems right up your alley. I'm trying to see, when did Lego Jurassic World came out, and I think it covered the first 3 movies and then the fourth, and then Jurassic World.
Well, that's definitely a game I could probably get for $4 on sale.
Yeah, probably less than. They do those Lego, you wait for Black Friday online digital things will be 99 cents. You'll be able to swing most of these.
The only thing
I would love a Lego Spider-Man game, a Spider-Verse Lego game would be fantastic.
It sounds like we got time because the only thing that's ever happening with the Spider-Verse movie is it getting delayed or moving dates. It moves up, it moves down, it moves left, it moves right. So they probably got time to develop a whole video game before this comes out.
Well, again, I think Insomniac doing a Venom game would be perfect. The multiplayer Spider-Man 2 portion was supposed to be part of the Spider-Verse with Spider-Man 2099 and everybody else that they canceled with that leak that came out of Insomniac, so that sucks. But anyways, Spider-Verse moving up a week, so that's about it. We're going to stay in the vein of Spider-Man with Brand New Day. The rumor this week is that the villain will be a female shapeshifter, and obviously Sadie Sink has been rumored to be everyone from a new multiverse Mary Jane Watson all the way to Jean Grey. Now they're well, maybe she's a lady chameleon, which I think we talked about last year even as being one of the rumored people, and we've come back around to that, which is really weird. Tom Holland got a concussion this week as well, or last week filming. He couldn't do his scenes for a week.
I saw that, and there was I think there was a rumor floating around that he might have broken something, but it seems like that wasn't substantiated. No. And I guess he's fine, but I mean. Maybe we take from that they are doing stuff with him. Yeah. They are throwing him around. He's
doing his stunts.
Yeah. Hopefully he stays alive to finish the movie.
I think he'll be fine. I think it's just one of those precautions with everything. But the other people, other than the villain being a female shapeshifter, the main villain, the main fighting villains will be going on between Spider-Man, Punisher, and a Savage Hulk. Which, boy, I'd love to see that. The only character who didn't get any screen time in Marvel Zombies that should have is the Punisher, Mike. I hate to say it, but God, I would have loved to see some Punisher in Marvel Zombies.
Well, they had to make sure that they could put Blade in there, the character that never found its way.
I would rather have him as Moon Knight than Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight, because this one actually has some pretty good skills. The other one, I don't know what he would do other than scream and run around. So
that's true.
But
there was some new set footage from the Spider-Man production where that tank is getting like thrown, or like maybe there's like this big fake brick wall that has like a giant hole in it, and it's like, well, Spidey's not like throwing stuff through walls. So like, yeah, I think this is like, I think the Hulk might be making an appearance in this tank scene at some point in time.
I'm interested to see. I think the Savage Hulk is overdue for reappearing. I think we've had Smart Hulk, Friendly Hulk since Endgame, and it's time for a reinvention of him, right?
I mean, maybe that's how you manipulate Bruce Banner as the Hulk. You know, he's so like focused as the Hulk. You know, the last time we saw him was in She-Hulk, and he has, I don't know if this has just been intentional or just by the sake of just wanting him to be more interactive in scenes with other like live action characters. He's like shrunk down in size too. But I think that could be a narrative of just like, he's starting to integrate more with his human self. Like
he's coming back,
kind of shrink down a little bit. So I think maybe the only way you get him out of his like zen is somebody that can shapeshift and really get in his head and mess with him.
Age of Ultron again, huh? With Wanda getting in his head. But like that Savage Hulk was fine, but I want to see like a totally uncontrollable Rampage Hulk where Spider-Man's only goal is to stop him or save people. Like literally, if I just get people out of the way. But also like the Punisher's there, and he's like, yeah, I've got some ammunition that could probably stall him for a minute. Would be interesting. But I'm excited to see some footage of this. It is filming. I'm gonna guess maybe something around the end of the year, or Super Bowl trailer for that. Now that football's on, I get a countdown to the Super Bowl, and that's one of my favorite times of year. Is when football ends.
Time.
Yes, right. Moving on, Doctor Strange. Not Doctor Strange. This is just a Marvel rumor, but I'm going to put it under Doctor Strange because Marvel and Sam Raimi are talking about his next MCU movie. But reports are it might not be Doctor Strange 3. He may be able to do something else outside of Doctor Strange. Rumor is maybe putting him in charge of Blade or the Midnight Suns.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I mean, I feel like he's a great director. I loved his visual style and kind of like the breadth that it brought to Marvel, but he doesn't quite seem like the pull where you like put him on like a long-term franchise, right? Like I don't see them putting Sam Raimi on like, I know X-Men already has a director, but I don't see him going to like an X-Men and then he does like the next 3 X-Men. It seems like you want to strategically use him where he'll pop the most.
In horror.
Like, yeah, exactly, and that's his bread and butter. So I like the Midnight Suns angle of it, of just like
I think
just really
he could save the disdain, the bad taste with Blade if he's added back to Blade as well. Sam Raimi doing vampire movies would be wild. Like I remember rewatching those scenes in Multiverse of Madness, right? Like the real creepy skulls, horror, supernatural stuff. And I'm like, yeah, he'd be really cool in a vampire movie as well. But maybe it is Midnight Suns. Maybe they keep whoever they have on Blade going. They move him over to the next one, Midnight Suns, as a team up film. But I don't think he needs to be a Doctor Strange 3. I think he did his horror with Multiverse of Madness, and I think Doctor Strange 3 doesn't need to lean into horror again. It can be more mystical without being, spooky. So some opportunities there. Some rumors on Vision, the series coming up for Disney Plus, is that this series will link up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV series somehow. As what some scoopers have been saying. There was one season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where like there was like a life model decoy robot who kind of took over and like put like everyone like a Matrix-esque kind of thing, like the perfect world kind of thing. They didn't know who they were and they had to get out.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, could be something with that. Maybe they name drop something. Maybe it's life model decoy. Maybe they bring Patton Oswalt back as the multiple versions of himself that he played in those. I don't think it'll be very explicit, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean to literally connect to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think they would have to like multiversal it, because even though the first couple seasons were very like tied in and like technically canon, it does not stay canon whatsoever.
And that worked for that show. I don't think if it tried to stay canon, it would have made any sense. They needed to get wild.
They needed the freedom in order to kind of like tell more story. But it makes me wonder, is Vision going to be happening kind of far enough into this multiversal saga of Marvel where, things start to kind of like slip in, the universe kind of starts having errors and maybe something Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pops up. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was such a, as the kids would say, a vibe when it was on. It would be kind of weirdly nostalgic, if that's the right word.
Agent Coulson he's just so cool to see, and even if he's not the part of it, but
can you imagine seeing Coulson in like Secret Wars? Like that'd be so much fun to just see him pop up again, to say hi to Fury one more time. And it'd be rad. I'd love it.
It would do a lot to heal some MCU stuff. But Vision, I think, has again, Terry Montallis is taking over. We've heard a lot of good things through the grapevine. Hopefully, I'm excited to see this. Rumors have also come out that Wonder Man is a great show and it'll be good. And then this is the next, I think the final standalone is the Vision series. And while they move into typical TV, and we'll talk about that in a second. So a lot of hopes. I'd love to see something pretty soon. We are one series down. We'll talk about in a second on Disney Plus. So all we know right now is that we got Wonder Man in December, right? And then Daredevil next May. So it should be time they be announcing something, even if it's an X-Men 97 teaser. Like give us X-Men 97 again as a teaser, like that. X-Men 97 feels like when Pokemon Go came out and everyone was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. We're all watching this show together because we missed the 90s. But speaking of Marvel Television, Brad Winderbaum was out talking about stuff because obviously Marvel Zombies is out, and he essentially confirmed that there's a yearly cadence release for animated series coming up. And that, this quote is, what's exciting about the next few years that we're going to get subsequent seasons of X-Men 97 and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on an annual cadence. So every year there'll be a new season. We can map out a longer arc to those stories. So it sounds like after they get over the hump of like, oh, will this season work or not, they can make a bunch of like 2 and 3, maybe even 4 at the same time if they need to, and get those out.
It's a little bit of a bummer to hear that, only from the point of view of I was hoping you would say something about Spider-Man 98.
Yeah.
Like we want that to come back so bad. If they really wanted to, they could just fold it into X-Men 97. There's no reason they can't. We already saw it in kind of like the original shows that they would do that. So maybe they could tell more of those like Peter Parker stories and have like some crossovers. But I want more of it so bad because they did such a good job with X-Men. So, but I can't see that happening if there's another Spider-Man show already on a yearly cadence. But I mean, as I say that, like it's Spider-Man, like I feel like there's always like at least like 1,000 Spider-Man TV shows on the air anyway, depending on what age group you want to, market it to. But,
there's also, I don't know if you know, Spider-Man 94/98 comic books just started coming out this year. And I think they might be using that as like a pulse for like maybe like, hey, if these are selling, like we understand there's an online discourse for the show, but like also we're going to do this, see how this works out. And maybe that gives us something to tap into. Because I don't know. I like the idea. I agree with you. I would want to know where they're going to go because like X-Men has had so many arcs over the years. Spider-Man up through the animated show, like they about burned out with the Clone Saga. Even I'm like, what's after the Clone Saga for Spider-Man still in the past few years? Do we want to go through one more day?
You do kind of bring up a good point. Since the original Spider-Man 90s series was just about one singular character, right? And it ran for a decent number of seasons. They did kind of mine a lot of story and a lot of the comic book arcs. So if they did bring them back, they wouldn't have a ton really to do unless they could address new stuff. Like it'd be kind of cool to see them do like Superior Spider-Man or something, right? In that story.
Yeah, like I think there are a couple things, but I'd want to make sure they had a good grasp on what they're going to do before they come in and do it, because like there are some Spider-Man stuff that sucks between now.
Maybe this is what they do. Maybe the game plan is only to do like 3 seasons of X-Men 97. And then maybe the same for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And then once those run their course, they're like, all right, let's get Spider-Man 98 out there and run, keep the train.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, maybe they get these 2-3 done and they're already starting pre-production on Spider-Man 98 and we just don't know it yet, right? Because, they don't want to jinx it. But, like, maybe they're like, oh, we know that we're going to do 3 seasons of Spider-Man 98. We're just going to go ahead and knock all 3 out at once. Because
I just want to see the modernized opening so bad. I love the modernized opening of 97. It's like the HD, like 4K version of it. Like, I want to see that for Spider-Man so bad.
And what was it? It's Joe Perry of Aerosmith performing the song as well. Like, that would be fantastic to have an updated version. That song just hits so well because it's been around for so long. All right, moving on to our last topic here. We're going to talk quickly, because there's only 4 episodes about Marvel Zombies that are now on Disney Plus. All 4 dropped on Friday, September 24th, right? Thursday, Friday, whatever that was. Maybe even Wednesday. I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, I don't even want to mess around with no spoilers.
Right,
like,
it's going to be full spoilers. Yeah, like, I just want people to know it's out. And for a little bit of context for those who are listening but aren't watching the show, or because you're sadistic like that and you do what you want, this is a spin-off of the What If episode, Marvel Zombies, and essentially does carry on some of those points from that, and even characters from that first episode.
It was pretty standalone, though. I felt like I didn't need to go back and rewatch.
Yeah.
You pick up with some of the characters, but it's like in the third. I feel like it's in like the third episode where it even really matters, and they kind of do like a recap. Not even a recap. That recap in the beginning of episode 3, we never actually saw that stuff, right?
No,
in the Marvel Zombies.
No, it's essentially just kind of caught it. No, that was all brand new. But like Spider-Man and Scott Lang and Ahead, they essentially survived and got out of there. I would say the only thing, like, to me, I was like, oh, they got, like, a lot of the main Avengers aren't in here because they killed them in the first one, right? I'm like, oh, they shot Captain America in half. Hey, he's dead. He's not going to make it in here. Oh, guess fucking what? Half of a Captain America is in this episode fighting Red Guardian, which ended in one of the goriest scenes ever when he splatted zombie Captain America with a back slam. Honestly, like, I want to go ahead and say, I love this show. This 4 episodes is so fun. It's low stakes. The main character, Kamala Khan, is great. I love that, literally no character is safe in this show. Like, you don't know who's going to make it out. I thought that was great. It didn't feel like, oh, the first 3 characters we're going to see are the first 3 that are going to make it all the way through. They don't even make it out of the first episode. 2 of the 3 don't. But the ending was kind of feels like there's like a 5th episode they cut out of here because they want to do another season.
Yeah, or is this like supposed to be another season? I kind of thought that this was like a one and done type of deal of like, oh, this is the last vestiges of like the What If art style and universe. Like, here you go. We saved like the craziest stuff for last, and then we're going to send this off. And then it kind of ends like really confusing. This is the only part that I really didn't resonate with the whole show was the ending. I didn't really get it. I almost thought I missed something. I had to like rewind and watch, and I was like, oh no, it's just like I'm not surprised if a show like this would have wanted to go with an ending like, oh, where like the bad guy wins, because we're in this such bleak universe, and like horror movies kind of end like that. You know, sometimes where like the bad guy gets the upper hand. It's like the crazy journey along the way is what you're in for. But then it was
well, I was gonna say, or a twist that the bad guy wasn't bad after all. Like, that's kind of what I thought was going to happen here. Like, oh, Wanda is like half zombie, half not zombie, and she wants to revert to Earth before it. And I'm like, oh, that's fun. But
it was just kind of confusing more than anything. I'm curious what your read on it was, because it seems like, I think Wanda's motivation was, oh, I need this like infinity well that's shooting off like,
yep, that makes sense.
Magic or energy.
Well, it's the like Infinity Gauntlet energy. That makes sense.
She needed to get rid of it so she could use her magic to her full potential, right?
No,
her ultimate
I think she absorbed it. I think she absorbed it and became that whole, to do
so everything. She wanted to amplify her energy in order to kind of do like a whole planet scale of what she did in Westview, where she wanted to, it sounded like she wanted to give all of the zombies their
I thought she was going to undo it. Yeah, I thought she was just going to rewrite reality like House of M. It was
But it was more like she just wanted to give people like a view. But then I was confused because Ironheart, she was still alive. I guess technically we never saw her die, but so I was confused. Like, oh, did we go back in time? Is this just all like a dream? It just was not clear to me. It didn't make any sense.
It feels like to me there are like horror movies where like, oh, everything's back to normal and but not everything's as it seems, kind of like what Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something like that. Like I get an homage to older horror films, yes. However, when I thought it was all said and done, I thought we were going to find out Wanda use her magic to undo everything and prevent this from ever happening. That, like, we come to find out she's not evil. She's just using what humanity she has left or control, because she's the only zombie who could talk, right? Like without, being given powers. Oh, she's just going to undo everything. Why did she need Kamala? What is Kamala's point in this? She didn't use her powers.
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, I've sensed this. I could see this happening." And it's just like, well, do you have like the time stone now? Like, what is, like, you can just like see into the future?
That I don't care about that. But like, why? What is Kamala like? She didn't use her powers. She didn't use her bangle. She didn't use. Is it
Yeah, I
anything
thought like
else?
maybe
like,
the bangle was gonna. Yeah, and it was like I just didn't. I wasn't expecting to be so challenged at the end, like at the end of Inception. Like I understood the end of Inception. It was pretty clear what they were trying to go with. Kind of seemed like you said at the end of this, like, are we getting another season? Or are we not? Like I
don't know, but Brad Winterbottom said, oh, there'll be more if more people subscribe and watch it. I'm like, well, that's fine, but like you should still end it where it should end, like the first episode. The first episode kind of ended,
but to focus on like the good stuff, like this show got its talons into me in episode 1 when they were in the desert and Icarus was fighting a zombie version of Captain Marvel. That's kind of what, like, when I peaked up. That's the one I stopped, like, kind of like, playing with toys with my daughter on the floor. And I looked up and I was like, oh, wait, excuse me, what's happening here? And it just seemed like this of like, oh, they're like locked in this like internal struggle. Like Captain Marvel has like this infinite power, but she's like infected, so she's never going to stop fighting. Icarus is essentially kind of like a god, and it seems like he can't get infected. They made
he's a robot.
to say he was like mechanical, so he's just going to keep going. So it's like, oh, this is just like an infinite loop where these two massive, equally matched powers have just been fighting in the sky for like 5 years, it seems like, and that was so cool. And their fight was like so cinematic. Like there's so many awesome cinematic choices that happen in this show. I just kept thinking, I'm being robbed here. I would have loved to see this in live action. This is so sick. But I guess I should just be happy that I get to see it in any visual means, right?
I would say I go even a little farther back to that when they're in the town and the Quinjet crashes and like they have to like rip this like little micro radar out of somebody. I'm like, oh, they're actually going to lean into the blood. They're going to lean into the guts. The goriness of this show is on full effect. And then obviously they, I was like, how are they going to maintain Haley Steinfeld as a voice actress for 4 episodes? Oh, they don't. They kill her.
They're going to vaporize.
They vaporize her pretty quick. I think Riri. I think her suit. Friday went back and put Riri in the suit and saved her. I think that's why she's still alive at the end, if that's reality seeping in. I do think she got out of there. But we get that. We get the second episode, I would say, kind of perked up whenever they get to the well, I guess in the first episode is that still the Black Widow? Is that episode
the first episode God, yeah, I'm trying to think.
Because the second episode started with Shang-Chi, and that intro was awesome.
And then they meet up to go on the raft, right? Is the raft?
The raft 2.
The raft is episode 2, yeah.
Yeah, and then 3 is Asgard, and 4 is the big battle.
The final.
Yeah, so I like that the Widows had controlled the zombies with the same stuff that they'd been using to control people. That was fun to see. Melina there. The scenes in that were pretty. I like Kamala using her power against zombies to like just decapitate them as well. Like,
yeah, I was waiting for that, and that happened in the final battle where she finally made like a really big like blade. It was exciting to see her again, because just like in the ill-fated infamous Avengers video game, the story though was great, and she was the center of it and drove it. Like she's just a really good character because she has that just enthusiasm, that energy, that just the right amount of naivete to just really like push a story forward, and she's always like the heart of it. So it was fun following her along in this universe, and yeah, it made sense that she would be the one that would like want to push back against this apocalypse and like go, you know, to the extremes to try to save everything, because like everyone else was like deservedly jaded. But she was like, nah, let's try to save the world.
Yeah, there's that second. I messaged Mike during the start of the second episode where San Diego is like being overtaken by zombies, but like the PIM factory has blown up, so random people are being turned into giant zombies, and the whole town's going around, and then he has to fight. You know, he uses his fighting skills, essentially the beginning of Shang-Chi, if you will, using his fighting skills. His dad comes in. It was fun to see one of the rings save Shang-Chi after being bit, like using its power to like hold his like zombie thing. I thought they used that more later, but that's fine.
It was kind of like, it was like Chekhov's like 10th ring. I thought at some point in time he was going to be in a situation where like all 9 rings were like occupied, like pushing like something holding back, and he'd have to sacrifice his kind of humanity and shoot off like this last ring, and then, you know, the infection would take him or something like that. Or I thought maybe in the next scene, you know, when they're like flash forward to the future and they're raiders out on the open land, I thought maybe he would only have like one arm or something like that. I thought to chop it off.
To me, it was like, is that technically controllable by Wanda since it's a zombie virus? Like, imagine her like controlling the one arm.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
But you know, he shares his rings with Katie. Again, voiced by Awkwafina. They get out there. They get on to with Baron Zemo, who uses the raft, which we now see is movable. This is like the most we've ever seen of the fucking raft.
We get to see the underside of it. Yeah. Just it going underwater and like floating around was such a cool visual to kind of see that.
I always forget how fast and strong Namor is, because he is essentially, he could fight a Hulk to a standstill. Like we've not revisited him, but he is essentially, between his mutation and the flower, essentially what the Black Panther stuff, he is strong and fast and anything. So it was fun to see him. He's terrifying underwater, by the way.
Spooky as hell.
like a damn piranha with that, and then, you know, obviously, you know, we get that was fun to see. Then we get to Asgard. That's creepy when we find out essentially Wanda's been feeding them zombie parts to turn all of the Asgardians into zombies, and sadly the Red Guardian as well. I was like, oh, maybe he didn't really eat all that stuff, and then my wife was like, you think he'll turn? I'm like, no, maybe not. They'll probably keep it. And then he turns. And I'm like, no one is safe in this fucking show. No one is safe at all. Which is awesome. Thor coming back to battle was awesome with his scar. And then the end, obviously, like I said, the Infinity Hulk. I love how they animated the energy coming out of him that looked like Kirby dots, like the old Kirby artwork from the 70s. Like, it's all trippy and like flowy.
It was kind of weird. Yeah, I was wondering, it feels like there was like an episode like left on the drawing board where like this very insane like scenario happens, which was really cool. It was like awesome. It's like one of those things that like you would read in a Wikipedia article about a comic book, like, wait, what happened in this issue? Where like they defeat Thanos and the Infinity Stones by like falling into the
vibranium core,
smolting like pit. Like that's so like metal, pun intended. And it in turn makes this like infinite, like infinity, like stream of power shooting up. Like that in and of itself, like that's a whole episode. Yeah. And they kind of, maybe they didn't want to have to like worry about like replacing like Chadwick. So like, oh, we'll just do it all in like a recap, you know, so we can just kind of like, we don't have to worry about like the strategy of like, oh, who do we bring as a voice replacement? Yeah. Because like technically his last screen role was in What If as himself, you know, but he was like Peter Quill's like guardian, whatever. So maybe they're just like, oh, we're just going to have to do it this way. Yeah. But that was quite a big event plot point to like weave into like a zombies like story.
Yeah, like he's learning. He's doing that. We get it from Peter Parker and Scott Lang, who had minor roles, I guess, overall. But it was fun to see well, we got the scene where Thor showed back up and tried to take him out, but they all got vaporized. Literally, it's like so depressing to see all the heroes get killed this way, rather than like the snap. But like that's part of a zombie movie, a zombie apocalypse. Like not everyone's gonna make it out alive, and that just makes it kind of more fun to have those situations with that. But I enjoy the Infinity Stones blowing up, sending the Hulk in, Bruce Banner, to absorb all the energy. Wanda just wanting, and it's like her sending wave after wave. Is that tower defense for the Hulk, Mike?
Yeah.
That game, like all they
When
did.
she
Did.
Like when she emptied the raft on top of him, I was like, oh, that's really smart. That's like an interesting way to try to get the leg up on something that is insanely powerful, of just putting in an environment that it wasn't expecting. One little tidbit that is just such a nitpick that kind of drove me crazy during this fight, though, is they show how incredibly powerful the Hulk is he can basically punch nothing, and then just the shockwave coming off like an air punch can like destroy like 1,000 zombies. Like that is like so freaking cool. He doesn't even have to touch anything and he can fight off half of this wave. I thought that was going to culminate into him doing his like iconic
Clap.
Yeah. And it was going to be like a nuclear bomb going off, but we never got that. And I was like, I kept waiting for it. Yeah. Because I mentioned I just rewatched Captain America: Brave New World at the beginning of the week. And when Harrison Ford turns into the Red Hulk, something he's never done before, he just instinctually knows to do the Hulk clap. So it just feels like a natural thing that Hulks just want to clap, even when they've never been the Hulk before. The first thing they want to do is do that thunder clap.
He's seen it.
Oh, he didn't get it. Yeah, it would have been so cool.
Yeah, I actually fully expected that as well, especially because he was also doing it like against like the giants. Like he was, attacking them from a distance with that. He was moving super fast. And essentially he was just kind of healing as people showed up to I guess protect him, buy time, if you will, kind of along the way. But like it overall great action, fun story. We didn't talk about Blade enough, but Khonshu Blade was like the voice of reason in this, and that was really fun.
When they were falling out of something. I don't remember what they were falling out of.
They tried to leave the planet, and the
Nova
Corps have essentially quarantined the planet, which was smart.
Yeah,
I like that. They blow up the spaceship, and they fall out of Kamala's crystal ball, and he's just
he's just upright, like he would be if he was like laying in like a coffin or something like that. He's just falling vertically, like just totally chill. I was like, oh, this is hilarious. That's a good visual gag.
And they do that thing from Moon Knight where Khonshu comes out and talks to the gods, but nobody else can see him but the gods. Voiced again by F. Murray Abraham, and they're like, what the fuck's he like? Who are they talking to over there? Which was a fun little thing. But yeah, overall, I had a good time. If we get another season, that's great. But like, I don't want this to drag on either. Like, this doesn't need to be something we see in 3 years if they're gonna do another season. Like, maybe give us one final movie. Like, they wanted this to be a movie, and I can tell in parts like it's like one big story, like one big road trip. But like, maybe the next one's just one special hour-long presentation of like, hey, here's the final Marvel Zombies ending, if you will. I was really, I know like there's like this is all takes place at the time of before Endgame. Is that right? Whenever this took place?
Yeah, because Thanos had the gauntlet. Yeah, he was in Wakanda before he got pushed into that pit.
But he didn't show up as a zombie, so I'm not sure how he became zombified. But I would have loved to see the Sentry in here. Like, what does the Sentry do in a zombie apocalypse? Like, do they let him out, kind of thing? In the comic book Marvel Zombies, the Sentry is a major player in that comic book series, so it would have been fun to have him in there. But if they do this again, I think it'll just be, hey, who are the Phase 6? Like, is it X-Men? Do we get the X-Men in the next show because they're working on that? I don't know, but anyway. Overall, it was a good time. Ending was just a little lackluster, but it feels like they're trying to set us up for one more go. But Mike, anything else you want to add before we wrap up the show?
No, it was a great time, man.
All right. Well, if people want to know what you're up to, what you're doing, where can they find you at?
Yeah, they could read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com and liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, if people want to catch up with you, where can they find you?
Yeah, find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or Video Game Systems of the same name. If people want to know more about the show, what we're doing, what we're up to, where they go to the show notes, look at the upcoming releases, where can they get all them goodies?
Yeah, all you got to do is visit superheroslate.com. Best place to find us. We are on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you're listening to podcasts. Even if you're listening to us at 2x, we don't care because you can get merch at superheroslate.com/store. We love it when you do that. And we want to know what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're playing, what game are you excited for that is going to tide you over until Wolverine next year. We love our super fans. If you want to be a super fan of this show, all you have to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week, folks.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.